Hello, thanks for watching. So it's full moon day today in the States and Canada. It's actually in the early hours of tomorrow in UK and elsewhere in Europe. But pretty much it's full moon time. That's the main thing. And what a full moon this is, how very different it is to the full moon that we had in March, just as all the craziness was beginning. Now everyone's kind of staying at home and stuff. And people are finding a different reality. And that is really the apex of the meaning of this full moon, because it's a supermoon. It's actually the third one this year, but it's the most intense one by far, and it's actually in the sign of Libra as well, so it's bringing balance. As different as everything is, believe it or not, this is actually bringing balance to us. So I'm going to do a card reading in this video. I'm going to use some chakra cards today, Rachelle Charman's chakra reading deck, and we'll see what comes out of the deck to tell us about it. Because reality, it is what's real, isn't it? It always seems to be changing, and that's only one level of reality, guys. That's the level of reality that we live in this world, and it's very much to do with our own terms and other people's terms. Some things we agree on, which is shared reality. Some of the reality is what we're creating for ourselves, and then of course there's the ultimate reality, which we don't really get to find out about until we reach the afterlife, but it's there and it's real, and it's not really affected by anything that's going on in the world at this very moment. We are affected by it a lot, but reality isn't. So what is the first card we have out of the deck? Here we go. It's number 24, it's listening. Now, it's the throat chakra, so it has everything to do with speaking our truth. That's what's really important here. But what is our truth? And we get so much of that by listening. And I don't mean listening to the news. I don't even mean by listening to each other most of the time. It's listening to your own mind. It's listening to whatever's going on inside you that links to your third eye, because it's the third eye that receives so much of the information and processes it. It comes in through this crown chakra, and the third eye, which is always looking within, looks in upon it and processes it, and it's what the third eye actually tells us that gives us our true spiritual truth. Now, we're very often tempted not to actually speak that truth fully. In fact, most of our lives we can't really speak that truth fully because people think we're crazy. I know lots of people think I'm crazy for doing this, but I'm lucky. It's what I do, and people around me have given up on getting anything that they consider to be more sensible a very long time ago. And so what reality is actually going on? This is a great time to be listening because it is full moon, and that really is giving it a lot of power, a lot of charge behind it. There's the reality that we all agree on, things like, money has value, grass is green, the sea is blue, the sky is blue, all those kind of things, and they're not actually always blue. But here's an example of the esoteric side of that. This supermoon is actually known as the pink moon, and a lot of artistic renditions of it, photos that people have created and pictures that people have created of this full moon show it as actually being pink. Now, the moon can look pink. It really depends what's going on in the heavens, physically speaking, but it looks very, very pink to my third eye as I look at it. That's the main thing. It might just be its usual white colour when we see it tonight, that sort of bluish, amazing, wonderful white colour that we see. But white contains all the colours in the spectrum, so there is some pink in there somewhere. There is some blue in there somewhere as well. Although this one isn't what we call a blue moon. We call this a pink moon because it's the time of year when we start getting blossom on the trees and the clouds are parting, and we're seeing spectacular sunsets. A lot of the magic of nature is showing itself so much more vividly than it did during the winter months. And we've got to listen to what we actually believe about what's coming into us rather than what everyone else is saying at the moment. Look at all the colours swirling in this card. It's very much too complicated to just bring it down to one simple expression of reality, which is what everyone's always trying to agree on in terms of the interactions that we have with the people around us. But reality is really out there in such a big way, and reality can be what you want it to be, You've just got to focus on not just the truth, but your truth. And when we talk about keeping it real, and I always say at the end of these things, keep it real, keep it twig, brother, I mean your reality. That's the one that really matters. So that's going to come from listening so much. And as you go about speaking your truth, don't be afraid to speak the truth that you've heard when you were listening. The truth as your third eye perceives it, because that's the most important truth. That is an eternal truth which goes on through any past lives we've had, through the afterlife into any future lives we've had. That is always going on. We don't have conscious everyday access to it from our place in this world, but it really is vitally important, because that is the driving force behind everything that is going on. So let's take out another card and see what else we have on this full moon day from the chakra deck. Okay, so turn one over, and it's clarity, crystal clarity. Beautiful crystals there. Now, I bet many of you work with crystals if you're watching a video like this. If you don't work with crystals, then do have a think about it, because they are a wonderful energy. They're not something that we readily understand from our place in this world, but they are real. If you start working with them, you will notice that they are real, and you may not be able to describe to other people exactly what is real about crystals, but they will always bring some healing into your life, whatever colour they are, actually, and they will always bring some power into your life around them. This is purple, so we are looking at the third eye chakra here. That's come up quite plainly in this card. And as I was saying before, as we were talking about the throat chakra, you see they're all connected. They're all really doing the same job. If we sit with a nice straight back and hold that intention of having our chakras aligned, then we really will get the chakras working together. And that's what they do best. Even though they've got separate names and they're for separate parts of the body, they're all part of the same thing. That is well worth remembering, and it's a truth that's well worth hanging on to. So look at the clarity here. Now that is going to come from listening, from wanting always to speak your truth in terms of what comes into you from the cosmos, in terms of what the universe actually has to offer you. And speaking your truth, again, connects up with all past lives and all future lives. So clarity there. If you have crystals, it's a wonderful time at full moon to actually put them in the window and let the lunar energy charge them overnight, particularly if you ask for that to happen and you hold that intention. Because intent is everything, not just with crystals, but with all the what we might call disciplines of the spiritual life. I don't like that word too much, but all the spiritual stuff that goes on. There's perhaps a better and more general way of putting it. So there we go. Focus on your own crystals if you have some. If you don't have any, and it might be difficult to go out and get any at this time, or if money's tight and you just got no intention of actually physically getting any, then remember that we live on a giant crystal, and this earth that we live on is absolutely packed full of crystals, many of which will never be found by human exploration, will never be dug out of the ground, but they're all there and they're all working for us all the time. And the more we look into the esoteric, the more we look into the spiritual side of things through those crystals and through whatever's going on in our life, friends, the closer we come to absolute clarity, absolute spiritual clarity. Clarity which lives on beyond the moment that we live in, clarity which lives on throughout eternity. And that is the best way of being clear. That is the best way to understand all the craziness that's going on at the moment. And it's something we can tune into while we're shut in at home. I don't think the authorities of the world really want us shut in at home. I think they'd like us to be working very hard and making them even richer than they already are. But that's not what we're about at the moment. This is the spiritual reality, and in that way, friends, we are all very rich people. There's a great wealth behind it, there really is. So I said a 3-card spread. Let's do another. Well, it's not a spread exactly, but it's three chakra cards. Let's turn another one over and see what we've got now. Now then, here we go. Number 8, which is a very magical number, very as above, so below, actually. So uniting the two worlds there with the thought of abundance. There is the physical world, and there is the metaphysical world, the spiritual realms where eternity happens, where our loved ones go, where they pass over, and where we actually all, part of us is always out there, in the spirit world. It really is. We come to this world as one facet of a spiritual diamond, which is really what our own soul is all about. We are expressing one facet as we live in this world. The rest of us is still there in the afterlife, or in the between life, you might like to call it, and it's always looking after us. And as long as we keep trying to tune into it, then great abundance will come. Now, this is a root chakra card, and it actually is quite an important one at the moment, because whenever we've got any kind of sense of fear around money, safety, security, it's always the root chakra that gets involved with that. And pretty much all our fears are somewhere to do with money, safety, security. Sometimes our fears are around love, sometimes our fears are around other things than money, safety and security, but they all pretty much come down to that. And so the root chakra tends to be the seat of fear, and we need to cleanse it. We need to visualize that root chakra as being a beautiful red, either a red spinning fan or a red ball, but it's a beautiful pure red color, and it's the red color we've got in the border of the card here. And abundance comes when we stop worrying about stuff like that. And as I've pulled this card today, friends, if you're watching this video, if you're drawn to this video, then abundance is on its way to you. It surely is. Okay, well, I'm going to make it short because lots of people have serious needs for the internet for various things to do with this world. But that is my card reading basically for today, for this full moon in the month of April 2020, a month of great change. And although it seems like a month of great disharmony, there is actually a huge amount of harmony coming into being at this full moon, as people are on their own, as people are in meditative state. And whether people mean to meditate or not, if you're on your own, you're getting in touch with yourself at a very much deeper level than ever before, I would suggest. It's not always good to be alone, but when we have these times when we're stuck on our own, and you can be stuck on your own in a house full of people as well, because you might be the only one who thinks this way, or even if you're with like-minded people, your reality is going to be slightly different to everybody else's. We all express a different part of the reality of the divine and of the reality of our own lives. So that self-knowledge is really building up at the moment. So friends, do a chakra meditation, please. Imagine all the chakras lined up, imagine them all shining in their beautiful colours. That's the base chakra, the root chakra at the base of the spine, which is red. And there's the sacral chakra 2 or 3 inches above the base of the spine, which is kind of, well, people say amber, people say orange, maybe not quite as bright orange as this, but maybe it could be. It's up to you. How do you feel about it? That's the question. This is an orange hat, this is an orange t-shirt, and you can see they're radically different colours, but it's whatever makes you feel most attuned, most at peace, most at one, whichever colour you're really happy with, then that amber, that orange, whatever it is your sacral chakra. Then we have the golden sunny yellow of the solar plexus chakra. We have the heart chakra is often seen as pink. It's green as well. There's the pink higher heart, there's the green lower heart. They both work together. So see that as a beautiful emerald green and a beautiful, shocking, loud pink as well. And that will bring your heart chakra more closely into alignment. As the turquoise of the throat chakra, as we had right at the beginning of this reading, as the third eye chakra as well, which our second card was all about, which is indigo, and it's always looking inwards, the third eye. It's really processing what you have within you spiritually as much as anything else, and that is its most amazing function, but that's its most amazing individual function. It functions as do all the chakras all together all of the time. And then there's the crown chakra, which may be seen as clear, or can actually be seen as kind of lilac amethyst, something like that. But it's basically good to see it as clear, because that is where the spiritual information flows in and out. You can open it intentionally, you can close it intentionally. If you view it as a 1,000-petal lotus flower, see all those petals wide open, then it's open. See them as all closed, and it'll close. And it's worth closing that crown chakra from time to time, just to allow the energy to build up, and so you can process what you've learned already without being bombarded by even more. Up above that is the soul star chakra, where we begin to connect to the universe, and way down beneath our feet, well below the base chakra, the root chakra, is the Earth Star Chakra, where we link to the goddess energy. That information is always flowing. That goodness, that spiritual oneness is always flowing between the universe and the goddess of the earth. And that's what the divine is all about. And friends, that's what we're all about, really. That's what the chakras are all about. So I hope you're having a fantastic full moon day. I know these are very difficult times, but you can find something positive in your own reality. You really can, I promise you. So focus on that and keep it real in the Twig Brother sense of reality, which a lot of people would say is completely unreal. But I promise you, friends, that is what reality really is. Have a good one. I'll see you again very soon. Do subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and take care of yourselves. Peace. Can I find the button? Yes. Bye bye.